Let's take a moment to connect, release, discover, and project from that place of power. My dear creative souls, you are powerful, and we are together going to create a year of expansion, to greet, to welcome 2025 in grace. You know what? Flow is grace. Being in a state of flow is attracting, living, creating from a place of grace. Let's start with just a question. Have you experienced a state of flow? What is flow? You know, when you're doing something you love, or when you're exerting a lot of physical energy. Let's say you are in your doing your yoga flows, and at the beginning you are aware of every movement, but with repetition, all of a sudden you feel you're in the waves, you're riding the waves. You forget where you are, the time, you stop counting, and it's going on its own, and you're one with what you're doing, with your breath, with the rhythm. You're one with what you're doing and what you're inviting in. That is a state of flow. In that state, you're not thinking of problems. You're not thinking of what next. You're not thinking of pleasing. You're simply being one with your doing, but the doing ceases to be a doing. It becomes part of you. Have you experienced that? That is a state of flow. Other times, flow shows up when you're immersed in a creative endeavor. You're inspired. You're no longer thinking and criticizing every step you take, but you're allowing the art itself, the inspiration itself, guide your mind, your hand, your breath, and you just become the vessel in which it is being expressed. That imaginative thing you're after is being expressed. As Michelangelo said, all I have to do is chisel away the stones that are covering the piece of art. That piece is there already. So, what if we approached 2025 this way? What if we greeted it not with goals, with a list of things we need to accomplish, with our, I don't know, every year we have our wish list, and then I'm going to do this, this, and this, and then we are in it for a few months or maybe for a few weeks, and then we forget. We put a word for the year and then we forget. We say, we push ourselves, we reach that goal, but we are completely overwhelmed, and there's no more a sense of peace, a unified alignment left in us. What if we approach this year, 2025, in a different way? We just invite in flow. Flow is very simple, but not always easy to achieve. Why? Because our mind plays tricks on us. Because our mind gets in the way. Because why? Because we are associating our being with our thinking. I think, therefore I am, right? But there's an I am behind that thinker. And flow is trusting that I am, our source, is complete. Our desires are coming from it because it's complete. The reason, the purpose we are here is to give it shape, to manifest it, to express the gifts that our core is all about, our light. We talked about it last time. It's like working for something you love is not work, it's passion. But where is that love coming from? When you're honest with yourself, you know what makes you so deeply satisfied and happy deep inside. And it's not something big. Sometimes it's recognizing potential in others. Sometimes it is, I don't know, it is bringing colors into the ambiance, and that's your forte. Sometimes it is being the listener and giving space. Sometimes it is putting things together and presenting it in a way that is more digestible to others, synthesizing. I don't know what your gift is, what your reason for being here is, but there is. You are a treasure, and all you need to do is align with it and let it guide you, with using your mind as a tool, not as your guiding force. We've talked about this quite often. So creativity comes from that place, right? Centered. It's the right mindset, the creative mindset, is subsiding the noise and reclaiming our peace and focusing on ourselves, the selves with the capital S, the self that is sitting and observing the human experience, the human thinker, the human doer, the human emotions, observing from behind. Consciousness observing consciousness. That's who we are. So flow is not waiting for that state to come to us, but trusting that we are whole, complete, free, secure from the get-go. Not waiting for that inspiration, but instead knowing that it's already created, it's there, we are it already, and by giving gratitude, allowing it to express through us. So we don't sit and think, who am I? What am I all about? What is my core? No, let me get involved into something that I truly love, not as an escape, but as truly participating with awareness in something that makes our heart sing and brings a sense of fullness to ourselves. That is our purpose. That is our why. So we sit there, but we don't think of, oh, what is it? But we just do it. And the action leads to the next, and all of a sudden we're in it. So the goal is not something we are imposing ourselves from something from outside. So number one is self-awareness. It's not being, completing, doing, aiming towards something that looks good or makes us look good. It's not fitting in what is asked from us, but instead it is in silence and awareness, self-reflection, and listening to the drumbeat of the heart, our drumbeat, and just intuitively getting into what it is telling us to do. Simply. And not being convoluted with that stinking thinking. So first, it starts, number one, with self-reflection. Number two, as we're doing it, we are honing down on our why. The why, the purpose, what makes our heart sing. And we are one with it. We believe it. It's giving us joy. And as we do it, we're feeling the joy and we find the answer. The how comes after. So basically, it is being, number three, being detached from the result, but involved in the process and enjoying the process. Because as we are in the process, we are discovering. And that brings lightness. So the moment is pregnant with curiosity, with discoveries, and it's not heavy. It's not heavy. So detachment. And in detachment, there's also clear boundaries. And there's also knowing that nothing is perfect, therefore valuing our values, valuing our heart's song, and putting boundaries. And that was the lesson for me, 2024. Guarding the boundaries, not pushing people away, but giving importance to the process without being distracted from validations, criticism, or time constraint. Aligned with our values. And knowing that all is impermanent. So if I fail, that's great. What did I learn? Move on. Detachment from end result, from outside validations, from mental stories, which brings us to number 4, energy. Energy is everything. Once we are completely involved in the process, we are energized. Now we are not ticking the to-do list, but we're in it, completing and moving. Imagine creating a year where every month is moving us forward and every month is giving us an answer to the next step. Imagine that we are creating a year where every discovery is making us believe in the reason for why we are here even further. And that self-discovery is expanding our self-love and self-compassion, releasing us from old habitual restrictions, releasing us from stories and releasing us from victimhood. Because self-compassion is opening our heart to what is possible. Therefore, we are embracing emotional resilience. We are at the heart when problems hit, we have now experienced that inner peace, that presence. We are in the eye of the storm, and we know that things are impermanent. It's not always rosy, but we can have that emotional resilience in self-awareness, because now we have self-compassion, because there's something we are discovering for ourselves. We are present in the present moment, and we are learning and practicing the art of focus. Focus is a skill. Focus comes with practice. So it's not an imposed thing anymore. So number 7, we said alignment. Whenever we feel that things are off, we are losing our footing, we are getting distracted, coming back into alignment, and saying, is this serving my higher good? Am I attracting the people, situations, and events that are serving my higher good? Not just a goal, but my higher good. Is it helping me, aiding me to stay in my flow, or am I getting overwhelmed? So ask the question, is this serving my higher good? And then the answer comes. Is whatever I'm doing, the way I'm thinking, the way I'm talking, my thoughts, my words, that are activating my emotions, are they helping me grow? We shift our perspective from I have to know to I have to discover. So now we're opening, we're allowing. It's a discovery. So every single day, let's make it into an adventure. So a growth mindset, shift of perspective, pushing through discomfort because we are curious to find out what we can learn, rather than, oh, this is too difficult, I'll stop, or it's too heavy. No, but it's like, what's on the other side? What if I was just at the edge and I didn't discover what I needed to discover? Let me one more step. Which brings us back to the flow again. We are letting go of what seems impossible, our limitations that were set from past experiences. We are releasing what does no longer serve us. We're releasing the finite thinking and opening ourselves to possibilities with gratitude. Instead of focusing on lack, doing something because I lack and I'm putting a goal to reach there, we are now letting go of that restrictive thinking and then opening ourselves to, I am it already. I'm exploring, I'm enjoying, and every step is leading the way. It is a discovery, and I'm letting go of force, letting go of that lack mentality, and trusting that By going to the well, all is there. By focusing on myself, I no longer to think if I'm doing good to others. By focusing on myself and seeing, believing, living in grace, I am seeing I am grateful for all others. I'm free to ask for help, and I am in service to others. I become the example to release this bondage, this limited way of living, and I become the example. By just embracing all of who I am, by trusting all who I am, by focusing on one action at a time, simply, by not forcing things to become, but instead discovering and allowing, I am in service to my family, to my community, to the collective consciousness. I am living my authenticity, and I'm connecting from that place. See, we are living in a world where institutions, I don't know, are falling apart. And the more they fall apart, we are losing our footing in a system that was created to produce things, and we have been hardwired to be hard workers to aid in that production. And we have been consumers, and marketing has underlined the lack rather than our fullness, because if we feel full, we don't need things from the outside. We choose. We are not manipulated. So when all these things have become too much, and our trust in politics, our trust in truth outside truth, our trust in institutions, as I said, are no longer reliable, and we are getting conscious that all of this has weakened us. The only way we create a year that doesn't come and go, but we live fully, is by focusing on ourselves and focusing on our authenticity. See, when we are afraid and we lose our sense of security, the ego emerges and wants us to adapt and wants us to fit in. But what's happening is we lose our own sense of self. We think we're doing the right thing, but at the end, there's something that is not complete. Why not create 2025 with joy, flow, connectedness with ourselves? Let's welcome a year where we are present in joy, and let's project our bliss. by taking the time to find our self-awareness, we are honing on our inner authority. We are aligning ourselves with our soul's calling. We are being original. We're no longer compared and comparing. Therefore, we are valuable. And we thrive. Not the other way around. Not by fitting in. Not by giving what they are asking from us, but asking ourselves, what is it that needs to come out? We are living in a meaningful way. We are one in our integrity. Therefore, we're in flow. We're in flow. Let's go back and revisit what helps us to be in flow. Number 1, self-reflection. Number 2, finding our why by doing. As we do, it clarifies itself. Number 3, detachment. Detachment from others' approvals, knowing that things are impermanent. We cannot control time. And putting boundaries, knowing your boundaries, and valuing our values. Energy. What can I learn from this in front of adversity rather than why me? Alignment. Always ask the question, is this serving my higher purpose? Is this making me grow? Being present in the now. Being present, not multitasking, knowing that focus is a skill and it can be learned and it needs practice every moment, in one task at a time, small steps moving forward. Emotional resilience, letting go of emotions that are not serving us, not getting trapped, staying in the eye of the storm, meaning grace rather than control. We're not controlling the outside, but we're finding grace inwards. Number 8, adapting and adopting a growth mindset. Curiosity, discovery, changing our perspective from the narrow to the wide. Asking the question what rather than the how, trusting that the how will come. Letting go and releasing old patterns, emotions, attachments that are no longer serving our higher purpose. In gratitude, because we learned from them, but we release it. We release that emotional trap. Number 10, we are in service to others, inspired. Our action are inspiring, not our talk. We no longer have to feel guilty that we're not participating, but trusting that by being authentic, we are being a magnetic creative force inspiring others. So let's together remember those 10 points and create a year of abundance, joy, health, peace, compassion, together. It makes us more inclusive. It makes us, it brings us to the wholeness of who we are. When we are in the state of flow, we are not resisting. Remember, the more we resist, the more the thing we're resisting persists. Instead, when we are in flow, what we embrace, we move through it with grace. We embrace, we find grace. Let's welcome 2025. I welcome the flow of all my heart's desires, because I know that when I'm in flow, I'm meeting my magical potential. You are magical. You are a creative source. Create, not imitate. Be first. Be, do, have. You are magical. Your potential is here to be expressed. You are here, welcoming 2025, to simply express it. And all will flow. The only thing we need to do is give grace. Give grace to all that we are already. Remember it. Every night, before closing your eyes, gratitude to your deep heart's desires, because that is your North Star. Write down, before even going to bed, write down after creating a bit of silence, write down what comes to you and how you're going to do the next day. And when you're in bed, gratitude to 3 things that you perhaps learned, accomplished, discovered, loved, and trust that you are creating. Then of course, by doing it day by day, we are creating. And we are doing it lovingly, because we're working with passion and it doesn't seem like work. We're creating. You're creating. Let's practice this. Let's review this, and let us review the year. Take all that we learned from it. Give ourselves a bit of time, now that we are off in silence, to reconnect to the core and connect to that authentic self, so that we sing along the song of our soul, from our soul, welcoming 2025 together. Namaste.